Welcome to TVBS Meeting Room, where we tackle global issues with a view from Taiwan. I'm your host, Wen-Chi Yu. Almost every foreign policy-focused think tank in Washington, D.C. has a program focused on China, Taiwan, and China or Taiwan. However, Global Taiwan Institute is the only one that's founded by Taiwanese Americans across different generations and takes a Taiwan-centered approach. Over the years, it's grown and attracted some of the top foreign policy thinkers to its orbit. Today, we're speaking to its executive director, Russell Xiao Liangqi, to help analyze how think tanks and policymakers have approached Taiwan issues over the years. How Global Taiwan Institute came about.
Taiwan is a very dynamic society, and cross-strait relations, as tense as it is and seemingly unmovable or unshapable, also has a lot of dynamics at play as well. And that tendency to really only focus on Taiwan and four-year cycle really presents a large gap in people's understanding about Taiwan when you try to sort of consume all the developments that are occurring within Taiwan and around Taiwan in those four-year cycles. The other tendency is to treat Taiwan policy as a subset of a China policy. Now, I think that has changed over the course of the last decade, I would add. But I think my organization, as well as those who support a more robust U.S.-Taiwan relationship, understands and appreciates that Taiwan has its own intrinsic value. And the third and final, I think, tendency that sort of dominated the way in which Taiwan policy and issues were addressed in DC is, really a hyper focus on, defense and military issues. Now, clearly, this is an important and existential issue for Taiwan, but nevertheless, I think there is a much broader set of important matters that concerns both the well-being of the Taiwanese people as well as for the American people to better understand, the importance, the interests, as well as values that Taiwan can bring to the international world stage.
Is there any difference between a Democratic and Republican Party approach to Taiwan?
The Republicans tend to have a stronger emphasis on defense and security issues and support for Taiwan in those regards. Whereas, I think the Democratic administrations, as well as Democratic Party in general, stand for a broader policy approach that emphasizes values in international institutions. There's a greater degree of convergence now than ever before in terms of the policy approaches of the two political parties. And you see that to an extent reflected in the continuity of the approaches taken by, from the Trump administration onwards to the Biden administration.
How do you think a second Trump administration may approach Taiwan differently, or maybe not that differently? Do you feel like there's still some more room for new and creative policies?
I do think it's important to be, if there were to be a second Trump administration, to really focus less about what he says and more about what he does and what his administration, and more importantly, what his administration officials do. My sense is that, in a second Trump administration, that is going to be, that there will be more continuity there, I think, in the approach of strategic competition with China, and perhaps, leveraging more, economic tools there in terms of its approach.